Welcome back to Video Waste Double Feature.
I think we're just going to stick with double feature.
Yeah.
Because we both love movies, and I think we're just going to lean into that and continue doing movies. Mm-hmm. So, double feature is the name.
Yeah. We have 2 movies that we want to talk about right now, and so 2, in other words, is called double. And they're movies, so they're features. I'm breaking it down for our audience.
Just in case you didn't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. it's a wink, wink, nod, nod. Get it? D get it? D get it? D get it?
Yeah. All right. So we've decided that we're going to pick 2 movies, hence double feature.
Jesus, I just said that. Didn't I? Or did I rant?
No, you didn't. You said another word for 2 is double, so we're just going to double things.
Being an asshole. I swear, I thought I was like, yeah, we're taking 2 movies, but go ahead. No, tell them.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, let me figure out how to keep my fat foot in place.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Why? All right.
Do you?
This isn't comfortable either. All right. Here we go. There it is. All right. So, we decided that we're going to try and take 2 movies that have similar premises, at least in the most basic idea.
Yeah.
So this week we're going to be doing Psycho Goreman and childhood favorite of mine, Suburban Commando.
Yeah, you didn't think those 2 mixed well.
And in fact, they are almost the exact same story.
Identical.
Okay, yeah. One has Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. The other one might have Hulk Hogan too and stuff.
True.
Yeah.
So let's start with Psycho Goreman.
Yeah.
PG for short.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty good, like, the movie's called PG. Oh, it must be PG. And, it's like...
No.
Well,
not even a little bit.
It's a horrible rated R movie. Kind of, well, not horrible, but it's a rated R movie. It's a hard R.
So this movie just, alien destroyer of worlds ends up trapped somewhere deep down in Earth. And a couple little kids end up finding him and releasing him and somehow have control over him. So that's pretty much the idea of this movie.
Yeah.
And so let's kick it off.
Yeah. Fish out of water story.
Exactly. And this one is a terribly well crafted love note to the 80s sci-fi horrors.
Yeah. 80s, that 90s, like, I just kept seeing Power Rangers, like the Power Rangers villains and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like just with the costume design, but I definitely see it's got that 80s feel of just like outrageous monster, and that's really like one of the high selling points of it is the monsters.
You will quickly realize that I enjoy this movie much more than Jerry. Jerry liked it, but I am in love with it.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good movie.
Okay,
definitely.
So who would be your show stealer in this movie?
Mimi. I really liked her character.
Yeah.
The little girl, she had some of the best dialogue. Mm-hmm. She had some of the best delivery lines. Like, I think when the creators were really creating the what? Oh, well, I'm turning and
Okay.
He says I don't look at the camera enough. No, okay. Mimi,
this is an intimate discussion between me, Jerry, and yourself.
I've been looking at when you look at the camera, I look at the camera.
I could see you not looking at the camera in the camera, right?
Yes, I know that, but I'm looking at the camera.
All right, fuck it. Whatever. Let's go.
I think the dialogue in the of the little girl was most focused on. Like everybody else in the movie, their dialogue kind of felt secondary, except for Psycho Gorman and her. Those are the ones that they really like focused on the most. So I'm gonna say the little girl Mimi.
Yes, I agree with that. Mimi is definitely the point of the movie. She is a show stealer. They could not have picked a better little girl for this.
Yeah.
She was hilarious. She was funny. She had amazing deliveries. So hopefully we'll see her further down the line in other movies.
Yeah.
But a secondary show stealer for me personally was the dad. The dad, I found him so fucking hilarious that like he made the movie for me.
Yeah.
Like when they're digging and he hurts his hand and they're walking away and she's like, okay, let's go. He's like, it hurts so bad. Don't even look at it. Like just the little dumb shit that he says is, I just loved it. And it helped me like get further into the movie.
Yeah. That's good.
So, all right, who do you got for a show breaker? Who bugged you out?
No, in particular. I have a couple. Like I said, I have a couple of issues with the movie.
Okay.
And like one would be called the missed opportunity.
Okay.
I felt there was a lot of missed opportunities of like showing Psycho Gorman. Like this is what they brought him a television, and I thought it was pretty genius what they did with the TV. But they could have like shown him like, yeah, here's Bob Ross and him do his dialogue.
Yeah, I feel like they did that in a lot of other movies, like Fifth Element. Like she sits there and watches the entire history of the world, and then hates the world. You know what I mean? Like, that's a good idea, but I also feel like
it has been done, but
it's beaten. But so has this whole premise. So
I've never seen a movie, especially with, this type of character, where usually these characters are lighthearted. E.T. We'll get into Suburban Commando, but where, everything that he like experiences through the audience is, has to do with like, a Guar soundtrack, basically, of brutalness and, it's just missed opportunity. Okay. Another really thing, and it's kind of funny you mentioned, like, the dad's dialogue was like, it was pretty good, but there seems to have been like a disconnect between some characters in the movie and the movie. Like the parents, I felt like sometimes were like disconnect. Like, what the fuck's going on? Oh, now they hate each other? At the beginning of the movie, they didn't seem too much.
See, I never got that they were like happily married.
No.
I for a brief second, I totally see what you're saying. But then like, as soon as the whole digging situation starts, they're she's basically like, come on, let's go. Yeah. Like, like this is something that happens over and over again. And then it just continues to snowball based on this stressful situation until she's like, get out of the house.
Could I tell you, like, if you were to watch this movie and the parents weren't in there, our focus is on Mimi and Lucas or Luke?
Luke, yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. But if it was just them two, and maybe we saw the parents in the background, or just like, your dad's at work or something of that nature, would it have affected the movie as like, oh man, I wish there were like some like goofball parents in here, lazy Susan,
Well, no, but I definitely think that like, would I miss them? Probably not, but I do think that they added to the movie.
Yeah, dialogue wise.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, more than that, like the dad saves them, like get out of that truck. No. And like leaves, you know what I mean? So like it pushes the story. Yeah. They're not big characters, but they are key characters.
Yeah, exactly. But did those two stoppers, like, did it ruin the movie for me? No, didn't make it worse and stuff. It's just like those little things where it's just like, oh, I wish I would have done it better. So, but what was yours?
Mine was the mom. I didn't like her at
fucking
all.
exactly.
Like, I love the dad, but the mom, I was not a fan of her.
Lazy Susan.
When he like loses his mind about being called lazy.
Yeah.
That shit is hilarious.
That was fucking left field. That was like, what? Really? That's when I really was just like, did I miss something?
But
I know I went to the bathroom, but
that made like the comedy of the movie more fun.
No.
Because you couldn't, like, yes, the little girl was hilarious.
Yeah.
She was the only funny thing in the movie outside of the parents.
No.
Like, Alistair being turned into a giant brain, spoiler alert,
Yeah.
probably should stop now, wasn't funny. None of the characters outside of the parents and Mimi are delivering funny lines. Psycho Gorman delivers a few,
Yeah.
but they're very dry, so you can't base
Yes.
the whole movie on those bits of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I think that the parents were important.
Mm-hmm.
I also just happen to hate the mother.
Yeah.
She just seemed like an asshole to me the whole time.
Like, also another thing that I wish this movie would have done is holds. A little bit more holds. Like, okay,
Yeah.
spoilers once more. If you're watching this and you haven't seen it, go see it. Okay. So the boy is communicating with Psycho Gorman via a nightmare, right? And he's like, okay, when does this end? He's like, when the nightmare ends. I wish they would have held on that, like, of just them just standing there doing nothing, and like the zombies like in the graves, like, and like just for a little bit longer instead of automatically like boom, you know.
Yeah.
It would have just been,
I mean,
like,
it held for like an
uncom-
extra couple seconds.
Yeah.
But just like one of the funnier things in the movie that I enjoyed, and which made me go, okay, this is going to be a good movie, is in the beginning when the kids are playing the game.
Yeah. Psycho Ball or something.
Yeah, whatever it is. And it's all intense. The music's going, and like it looks like a super epic battle. And then the camera pans out, and the music stops, and it's just two dumb little kids throwing balls at each other in the yard. And then it cuts back into it. It's like that's why I relate it to the 80s. Like it was very fun in that manner.
Good montage and stuff. Yeah. But like there's a couple moments where, like, I don't know, the mom asked the dad to do the dishes or something, and he's laying on his chair, and like he's just looking up, and like just hold it for just a little bit longer, just for everybody to go, what the fuck is going on? just weirdness, for weirdness sakes, and that, I think that would have been cool. Also, how did he have a tape of everybody playing in a metal band all of a sudden? Is that just straight 80s? Like, the idea?
Well, they show you them playing the song, so I guess maybe that's the recording or something?
I don't know. These are not questions that need to be answered, especially to us.
Just apparently asked.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right, what's the next category?
Cinematography. Let's talk about overall. That's anything not in just the camera work, but in the effects of the movie. Let's get into it, because this is a long one. This movie has great practical effects.
Absolutely.
Along with some halfway decent digital effects.
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely there to just complement the practical effects. But again, love letter to the 80s.
Yep.
Practical effects. Again, I will stress this every single time. I am willing to forgive so much more with practical effects. I'm willing to suspend disbelief for practical effects.
Yep.
Keep using practical effects. Stop with only CGI shit.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard to just continue, like, in this movie they do a great job of blending the two. You
get that uncanny value when it's too much, when it's used just right, then your brain can believe what it's seeing. But when it's just like CGI upon CGI upon CGI upon, when it's just build up so much, and then you go, this is Avatar,
Yeah. It's all just CGI'd.
Yeah, I mean, you're filmmakers. Make a film. So
but all the makeup work was great.
Yeah.
I loved Psycho Gorman, the fact that he was like glowing.
Yeah,
in
that was
those
probably
pinks.
done, like added on through computer generate, but that's what you do.
Yeah.
You make a costume, even if it looks cheesy, and you just add to it through computer graphics and stuff. So
I think that there's definitely different versions of this costume, because he looks way better in the beginning. And then towards like the middle where he's wearing clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, he almost looked wet. And then towards the middle, he was like dry.
yeah.
Like the styrofoam had soaked in whatever was in the or whatever was laid on it.
The KY jelly.
Yeah, basically.
Just the
Which
goop.
the people behind us are apparently getting ready to need.
Yeah. Stop watching. We're watching slugs.
But yeah. So.
But now camera work, where I love the graphics. I mean the effects.
Yes.
But the camera work was kind of bland. Kind of.
Yeah, like I mentioned
One-noted.
earlier, there was a couple very fast drawbacks.
Yeah.
Like cut back, like pan outs, and that's something that you don't see a lot anymore. So that was
It's almost like you got offended
because it's always in the background of everything that we do.
Well,
in our entire lives.
Just look. Now we're edited for YouTube
Yeah,
here.
exactly. So like I don't know. I forgot where I was going.
I really thought there you're like, oh good, did you take your hand away? We're gonna get like who cares?
I don't care.
I don't even like, but the cinema. I mean, but a movie like this doesn't need to be like cinematically wowed. Oh, did you see that scene? It was so amazing.
Yeah,
it didn't need that.
This is
not that.
an Ari Aster style movie. This is just for fun. So,
Like, have you seen the movie 1917?
no,
You need to watch. That's fucking
I know,
great.
and I'm never going to do it because I tell you to watch movies all the time. I'll deprive myself of an amazing.
I watched
movie for
Psycho
this.
Goreman. You said that.
Yeah, like 3 months ago.
All right. Soundtrack. Let's talk about
I loved it.
Yeah, the synth. I love
Like,
that synth wave.
Yeah, that synthwave. Again, 80s throwbacks.
And that's what got me into also like Turbo Kid. Turbo Kid had that same.
Yeah.
That driving force music and stuff, and it's not overdone.
Right. And yeah, like you said, it's not overdone, but you really enjoy it when it's there. And it helps set the time frame.
Yeah.
Because like if you noticed, I don't know what era this is supposed to be happening in.
Yeah, there's not.
But there's no cell phones.
No.
There's no, like, the TV that the dad had was nothing like this.
Yeah.
The TV that the kids brought to PG was not like this. They were all old box TVs. Even the dad's truck was really old.
Yeah, and they're playing a Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
There are like things, because I think when they're in the restaurant, like someone has a cell phone.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter when, where, why.
Right.
That's not any of the matter and stuff. So,
Dude, they're going to town right now. But yeah, so like the music was great. Even like even the song like Frig Off, like by the end of the movie I was like, yeah. But I would probably put that on my phone for a little while.
And then they have that like long dialogue about when it is proper to use the word frig and stuff, like how to use it and stuff. Those are great.
It's a very versatile word. You can and of course these are kids, so they're not using fuck.
Yeah.
But they are. Like So, if you just want to like watch this movie with us, you can do that too. Because I don't even understand what the fuck is happening.
It's slugs.
Yeah. I know.
They're killer slugs. We're just gonna have to like you're gonna have to like put in a screen that comes in and then goes out and shit, so we don't like you're showing pornography on video, you know. But we're for it's slug. You never like have you ever seen this movie?
Yeah, I saw like bits and pieces. It's one of those ones that I throw on to like background like this.
Nice.
All right. Anyways, fuck this. Let's move on.
Is there anything else that you really want to? Because I think we've covered Psycho.
There is one thing that I thought was kind of interesting in the movie. There was one part that I was like, the aggressiveness of Mimi's hitting on Alistair.
Yeah.
That was like, it was hilarious to me.
You're my boyfriend
like,
now.
Like in the school, like, again, this girl, she's fantastic in this movie.
Yeah.
But she's like, hey, Alistair, you look really nice. Why don't you give us a spin? Like, just shit like that. Like, I was losing it.
Yeah.
And then the bell rings and she takes her brother's book and throws it and runs off. Like,
but that's that quick wit. She reminds me like of Darlene, you know, kind of like
from Roseanne.
Yeah, like aggressive, you know, this aggressive feel to her and stuff. Not like, oh, do you like me? It's like, no, motherfucker, you're gonna like me one way or another. I'm gonna get this space demon to turn you into a giant brain.
Yeah, which is super odd choice.
Yeah.
Let me see. Anything else? Oh, yeah. Again, back to the dad towards the end of the movie when she's like, when the Templar finally shows up and she's like, yes, if you don't hand him over right now, it'll be an endless, severe, like, suffering for eternity. And like the dad's like, endless eternity of suffering. Sounds like being married to you, Susan.
Yeah.
Like those things like were so much fun in the movie. But yeah, I think that, and again, there's a lot of blood and gore in this movie.
Yeah.
It's spaced out well. But when they do it, they do it.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
And again, it just feels so good to see it. And I'm glad that this style of movie can continue to go on because people like this are taking care of it and they love it, so they're going to make it.
There's a dime a dozen of these like passion projects, but like we said, Spinal Tap.
Right.
It's a fine line between stupid and clever, and there are certain movies that can ride the line, and then there are some movies that cross over into clever, and it turns into like really like, oh wow, that was like I am so glad I saw this at this time, you know. And then there are ones where it's like this could have turned into porno, like real, like, yeah, I know there's like a bunch of like those like really schlocky movies that I like to throw on. This is genius. But no, I'm talking about like Lamageddon or Killer Pinata or what is it, Carousel Massacre or something like that. You know?
All the garbage ones.
Yeah, those go over into the stupid line, but there's still passion to their filmmaking. You know,
Suburban Sasquatch.
Suburban Sasquatch is a perfect example. But you know, when you do like this, just rides that line really nice. You know, not very many people know about it. A lot of people won't know about it. Only true, like, horror fans will know about Psycho Goreman. Everybody knows Freddy Krueger because that went over into the clever line back in the 80s, you know.
It just became so overblownly popular.
Well, yeah. I mean, the line's there, but then all of a sudden it's like a car out of control just...
Yeah.
So...
All right, well, so let's wrap this up with how many stars would you give it?
I'm going to give it 3.5.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 3.5 star. It, like I said, It's just right there. It's right down the middle. I enjoy it. Like, would I purchase a physical copy if I could find it? Yeah, but it's a good 3.5.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
How many stars would you give Slugs?
Slugs?
Mm-hmm.
It's a nostalgia 5. Oh, did you hear the crowd go wild?
No, I heard everybody turn their fucking TVs off. Anyways, yeah, so this movie is a 5-star movie to me.
Yeah.
I loved it front to back. It keeps me going throughout the entire movie. Like, I never find myself looking at my phone. Like, I barely wrote notes because I was just so involved in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I could see why some people wouldn't necessarily love it.
Wow.
But
And it's kind of interesting because where, like, Turbo Kid, I went crazy for, and you didn't. You were like, I get it. And they're not even, but they have that same path that they travel and stuff. But I like Turbo Kid just a little bit more. So, is Psycho Gorman worth a 4th star? Maybe on another viewing, maybe on another day, but as of right now,
maybe when I'm not grumpy.
yeah, maybe if it was a different movie and they took the goddamn parents out and they left, maybe instead of throwing all the paladins at once, we got them here and there. We saw individual fights of them, and instead of like, all right guys, we got to blow our load right now, get the costume designer here now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So that's PG. That's Psycho Gorman. It's on Shudder now.
Yeah.
So go check it out.
It's I was gonna say it's a Slutter exclusive.
And then Jerry had a stroke out of
Yeah.
nowhere. So so that's part 1. We're going to be moving into Suburban Commando right now. So stay tuned, and
we're gonna move into Suburban, and then we are going to compare and contrast after Suburban.
Yes. So here we go.
Yeah.